The day has finally come, ladies and gentlemen, where we get to talk about Oscar nominations. It is that one special time of the year for movie fans where we get to see who the best of the best were and maybe do a bit of complaining about who didn't get on the list. But we're going to talk all about that in this video. I'm going to give you guys the nominations as well as my predictions as to who I think is going to win each Oscar. I have a trusty pencil right here. I have my list off here to the side. So let us start out here with makeup and hairstyling. Nominees being Frankenstein, Kokuho, I think that's how you pronounce that, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and this warms my heart to see this, The Ugly Stepsister. And for reference, if I say blank of 5 or blank of 10 in the case of Best Picture, those will be the movies that I have seen that have been nominated. So for this one, it is 4 of 5. Kokuho is the only one that I've not seen on this list. Frankenstein, especially with the makeup on Jacob Elordi, is impressive. It's really, really impressive. Sinners, makeup, especially for the vampire stuff, was really, really good. Smashing Machine, the transformation of Rock into Mark Kerr, absolutely incredible. And then, of course, Ugly Stepsister, especially, the scene with the plastic surgery, old school plastic surgery. No. And also the old school hairstylings I appreciate. My predictions as to who I see winning, as much as I would want Frankenstein to get it, I think it'll be Sinners. Sinners will get the job done. So, moving on to screenplay. Now, they break up screenplay, of course, into 2 different categories. Adapted screenplay, which is basically screenplay based on a source, and the original screenplay, complete from scratch, original idea. So, for adapted screenplay, we have Bugonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Traindreams. I believe all of these are based off of books, either of the same title or just under a different title. For this one, I have seen 4 out of the 5. Bugonia, I think, is a really good story. Frankenstein, of course, is classic. Hamnet is such like a really good Elseworld type story about Shakespeare meeting up with a woman, them having kids, and the death of one of them kind of inspires Shakespeare to create quite possibly his most famous work of all time. And then, of course, One Battle After Another, really good character interactions throughout that movie, and clear, distinct, and definable characters in that movie as well. See, for me, it's like all of the four that I've seen that are nominated for this, I could see any one of them winning. Like, all 4 of them are really, really good. But if I had to give the edge to one of them, I think it'll be One Battle After Another. That is my opinion on that. Moving on now to original screenplay. Nominees being Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, martysupreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. This one I think might be the lowest category out of the bunch, because I've only seen 2 out of the 5 that are nominated. So I can only speak on martysupreme and Sinners. martysupreme is really good, really chaotic, really reminded me of Uncut Gems, just how everyone just talked all over each other. And yet also, again, with One Battle After Another, clearly defined characters and unique characters as well, and interesting and engaging characters. And you can say the exact same thing for Sinners. Engaging, unique characters that are easily recognizable and definable by not only their actions, but also by the way that they dress and, you know, what they do in the movie as well. So I think if I had to give the nod to one of the 2 that I know and have seen, I'm going to have to give it to Sinners. Moving on now to... We'll do casting next. So for this one, nominees being Hamnet, martysupreme, One Battle After Another, Secret Agent, or The Secret Agent, I should say, and Sinners. 4 out of the 5 here. Hamnet's casting is really good. Buckley and Mescal's chemistry off the charts. Even the kids that play Hamlet and Hamnet are really, really good as well. martysupreme, again, amazing casting. From Chalamet to even the people that I didn't even think would fit in a movie like this, like, you know, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, and Tyler, the Creator. Like, they killed it in their respective roles. One Battle After Another, like DiCaprio, I could go down the list of, you know, amazing people in that cast. DiCaprio, Penn, Taylor, Infinity, Del Toro, just go down the list. And you could say the exact same thing for Sinners. Michael B. Jordan, Wumi Masaku, Steinfeld, Lindo, I'm trying to remember the Miles Canton, the guy who plays Sammy, young Sammy, I should say, in the movie. Like, everyone killed it in that movie. I think it will be a 2-horse race, as I think the whole night will be, for One Battle After Another and Sinners. They're definitely going to jockey for who walks out with the most amount of trophies. I think for casting, just because there are more, I think more like definable and unique characters in this movie, I'm going to have to go with Sinners again. I think Sinners will win the Oscar for casting. Let us now go to costume design. Nominees for this being Avatar Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, martysupreme, and Sinners. All 5 of these I have seen. So I can really be a definite good judge on this. Fire and Ash, like, they made all those costumes themselves. Like, you might be thinking to yourself, like, why be nominated for costumes if all of it is, like, in a computer? Well, they actually made all the stuff. They made all of it so that they can have that digital scan in the computer and actually have the correct textures on it. So, there's a reason why they're nominated for this one. Frankenstein costumes in this, like, I even said in my review of Frankenstein, like, Wicked's gonna have a run for its money in terms of production and costuming, because costumes in Frankenstein are gorgeous. And I guess since I bring it up, Wicked for Good, nowhere on this list. I would have thought for sure Arrivo or Grande will get to, those categories a little later. Even for songs, I would have thought one, if not both of them, both the original songs would be nominated, but nada, not even for production design, nada, nothing, which is very, very surprising, very surprising. But back to it, costume design, Hamnet was really good as well. martysupreme, all of it fit the era, as well as for Sinners as well. And for Sinners, it even told you, like, again, character, moves and, how certain characters would act just on the way that they dress. And it tells you a lot about their character as well. But for me, I don't think anything's beaten Frankenstein. I sincerely believe that the costuming in Frankenstein was the best this year. 100%. Let's move on into the music, shall we? We're going to start out with Best Original Score. Nominees for this being Bugonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. Again, all 5 of these I've seen. Begonias fit the weird kind of sci-fi-esque route that they were going with it. I really dug it. Frankenstein, absolutely beautiful and yet tragic at the exact same time. So well done by Mr. Alexander Desplat. Hamnet, Max Richter. Like the score is subtle, and it helps elevate scenes, but man, at the end, with that final piece towards the end, dude, that was awesome. That, I would say the last maybe 10 to 15 minutes, really, really good, and the score elevates it massively. One Battle After Another also had a really good score, once again, elevated certain scenes and certain aspects. And then, Sinners is basically based around music. And it's done by Ludwig Göransson, who, a couple years back won the score for Oppenheimer. And he also won it for Black Panther as well. So he's going for his 3rd Oscar. And you know what? By God, he's going to get it. Because Sinners is going to take home the Oscar for Best Original Score. Which then brings us on to Best Original Song. Dear Me from Diane Warren. I didn't get the tagline, but I'm assuming that is a doc. Can you tell I've not seen that one? Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. I Lied to You from Sinners. Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verde. And Train Dreams from Train Dreams. 2 out of the 5 I've heard, which puts me at a very tough choice because I like both songs. Golden became an absolute classic, played for so many weeks at the top of the charts. But I Lied to You, which, is the song that has that amazing oneer in Sinners, like, that is some of the best, filmmaking of the year, in my opinion, is that oneer and that song. Like, that song is awesome. So it's a really tough choice. It's a really tough choice. But I think in the end, I think Golden is going to get it. Golden will win for Best Original Song. Moving on now to Best International Film. Now, the reason why I'm covering this one is because two of them are actually nominated for Best Picture. So I figured it's only fair that I cover Best International Film. And those are Secret Agent, or The Secret Agent, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Sirat, and The Voice of Hin Rajab. Again, I've not seen any of them, but I hope to rectify that soon. I hope to see Secret Agent, and as well as Sentimental Value. I really, 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 really want to see those two movies. So hopefully I can go check those out. But I do think that it will be a two-horse race, Secret Agent or Sentimental Value. And in my opinion, having not seen any of the movies that I have mentioned, especially the two that I say I'm going to go check out, I'm going to say, sight unseen, that it'll be Secret Agent. Now, granted, I can change my mind once I see each movie. But that is just how I'm feeling right now, sight unseen. Let's move on now to animated. Best animated film on the year. The nominees being Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, or the character of Rain. I believe that is the full title. I just wrote down Little Amelie because I didn't have enough room on the piece of paper. And Zootopia 2. 3 out of the 5 for this one. Elio, I think, went under a lot of people's heads. Mainly because I think it didn't get like the best reviews in the world, but it got solid enough reviews. I wish it had done more at the box office. But I thought that was fun, enjoyable, and also original Pixar movie. And I'm happy that it got a mention here. K-pop Demon Hunters, of course, the phenomenon of the year. And, just took the world by storm. Started on Netflix and then basically due to sheer demand got its way into theaters with sing-along versions. And, everyone has been singing those songs ever since the movie came out. And then, of course, Zootopia 2, the juggernaut on the year. I will be doing a top 10 box office video relatively soon. And, of course, we're going to talk about Zootopia 2 because it's the highest grossing animated film from Disney ever. And I mean ever. I think it's currently raked in something like $1.7 billion at the box office. So, yeah, people enjoyed this movie, very much so. But if I had to pick one, I think the answer is pretty obvious, and that it is K-pop Demon Hunters. K-pop Demon Hunters will win Best Animated Film. Moving on to production design. Nominees being Frankenstein, Hamnet, martysupreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. Again, perfect 5 on 5. Frankenstein, so gothic and yet so beautiful to look at the exact same time. Hamnet, really cool, like, flashback to, the past, old England. martysupreme, giving us a look at, the dingy side of New York as, a guy just hustling his way to try and make it to the big time. One Battle After Another almost felt like, I don't want to say timeless, but yeah, it kind of did feel timeless. Like, you couldn't necessarily, like, I know we were, we started in one place and then, of course, we moved forward to the present day. But, at least in my eyes anyway, this movie felt timeless. And I think the production design, really did a good job with that. And then, of course, Sinners, doing a really good job at recreating 30s Mississippi with, historical accuracy as well. If I had to pick one, I'm going to say, as much as I would like Frankenstein to get it, I don't think it will. I think Sinners will get it. Moving on to editing. Nominees being F1, martysupreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. 4 out of 5 here. F1, yeah, really good editing, going back and forth between, the team that's on the box to the drivers that are inside of the car. And we'll get, actually, it's not nominated for Best Cinematography, F1. I was going to compliment the cinematography, but I guess I still can. The cinematography in it, really, really good. And just the way that the camera, like, swivels from back to front, it's awesome. martysupreme, as much as I talked about, like, with the screenplay, with dialogue being chaotic, so is the editing. At times it mellows out when it's in the calmer moments, but when it's, going, it also goes as well, and it fits perfectly, in my opinion. One Battle After Another had really, if I remember correctly, really smooth editing. Like, it flowed very, very nicely. And then Sinners, my mind immediately goes to the jump scares that happen in the beginning of the movie. And those were edited really, really nicely. And just the movie as a whole, edited really, really nicely. I go back to that oneer that they had, shot amazingly, and how it flowed incredibly well with, the story, and with the shot pulling out of the burned down barn, and it lands right at the vampires. Perfect. And then we cut to a shot of Jack O'Connell just looking at it, smiling, like, yeah, we found our spot. Perfect. So yeah, if I had to pick one, I'm going to say Sinners. Moving on to sound. Nominees being F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Sirat. 4 out of the 5 here. F1 sound, really, really good. Like, the sound of those race cars going, around the track, really good. And especially during the scene, like, what is Sonny doing? Like, he's flying, and then the noise just goes down, and it's just Zimmer's score. Beautiful. Perfect. Frankenstein, again, really good sound. The way that Elordi kind of, does the creatures scream, really, really good, and it's captured crystal clear. One Battle After Another, I think of at least the gunshots in that movie, which, sound like a cannon is going off, and, just how that echoes for a while, those gunshots. Like, they stick with you. Like, every bang or crash or anything like that in this movie, it sticks with you for a while. And then with Sinners, of course, based on music, all the music sounds great in this movie. And it just sounds beautiful all the way throughout. So if I had to pick one, I'm going to have to go with Sinners again. Moving on to visual effects. Nominees being Avatar, Fire and Ash. Need I say any more? I will say more. Okay. F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. Again, do I need to say more? Oh, I guess also 4 out of the 5. It's clear as day. Avatar, Fire and Ash, 100%. Like, do we need to argue this? Every time an Avatar movie has come up, they've won this award for best visual effects, and that's not going to change. It's just not going to change. I love the visual effects in F1. The crash that happens, really, really good. Jurassic World Rebirth, all the dinosaurs in it look really awesome. And Sinners as well. It looks really, really good with all the visual effects that they did. Really good. But you're not beating Avatar movies with visual effects. You're just not. I know people complain about the high frame rate for Fire and Ash. And with this movie, I can understand a little bit of that complaint. But you're just not going to beat it. You're not going to beat this movie in visual effects. You're just not. Fire and Ash for visual effects. Moving on to cinematography. Nominees being Frankenstein, martysupreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Traindreams. 4 out of the 5 here. Frankenstein, beautiful cinematography. Like, again, images that you can like hang on your wall. Good. martysupreme. I don't want to say handheld because I don't think it was handheld. But like very realistic camera movements. And it just captures everything amazingly. One Battle After Another, like really good POV shot. Like I'm thinking of when Chase Infinity grabs the police car door and the camera's on the door and it swings right to Chase Infinity in the driver's seat of the cop car. That is really cool as well. And then, like I've touched upon before with Sinners, the amazing oneer that they did with IMAX cameras, and not just that oneer, but again, much like with Frankenstein, images that you can like definitely put up on your wall that are awesome. So I see coin flip between Frankenstein and Sinners, and I'm going to give it to Sinners. Purely off of how good that oneer was. And now we have come down to what I'm going to call the big six, as it were. Actors, directors, and of course, Best Picture. Starting out with Best Supporting Actress. Nominees being Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, Inga Ibsdottir Liles, I probably butchered that horribly, also for Sentimental Value, Wumi Masaku for Sinners, Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another, and seeing this warmed my heart so much, Amy Madigan for Weapons. I'm so happy. 3 out of the 5 on this one. So happy that Amy Madigan got nominated for this, because Gladys is terrifying, and that is all done through Amy Madigan. Like, she was awesome in that movie. Wumi Masaku is absolutely awesome in Sinners, as is Tiana Taylor. I think Tiana Taylor won a Golden Globe for her performance in One Battle After Another, and she's nominated for the actor for the SAG Awards, which I think she has a pretty good chance of winning. And as much as I would love Wumi Masaku or Amy Madigan to win this, I do think that it'll probably be Tiana Taylor taking the win on this one. And then that brings us to supporting actor. Nominees being Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. 4 out of the 5 here. Del Toro, of course, he's going to bring his Del Toro-ness to the role, and he plays his character in One Battle After Another so amazingly. It's so good. And same goes for Sean Penn, but on the completely different side of the spectrum, because he's terrifying in One Battle After Another. Like, you've seen Strict. Like, this is beyond Strict. Like, this is a dude out for not only revenge, but also some sort of, like, lust as well, and Penn plays that incredibly well. Delroy Lindo is a treat to watch in Sinners. He's just so good at playing this character that has seen it all, and yet he's going to see a whole lot more stuff in this movie. And Lindo plays that amazingly, and Elordi as the creature in Frankenstein, he brings a humanity to that creature that is just so well captured and so well performed by Elordi. And he's just absolutely amazing in that movie. If I had to pick one, I'm thinking it'll probably end up going to Sean Penn from One Battle After Another. Which now brings us on to the leads. We'll start out with actor in a lead role. Nominees being Timothée Chalamet for martysupreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. 3 out of the 5 I've seen. Chalamet as Marty Mauser is both charming and yet kind of an asshole at the exact same time. It brings off the same vibes to me as Sandler's jeweler character from Uncut Gems, and Chalamet plays it absolutely perfectly. and is so charismatic in everything that I've seen him in, from Dune to the Bob Dylan movie that he did, Complete Unknown. Like this dude is something special, and he's also a wrestling fan, which makes me like him even more. DiCaprio, of course, is DiCaprio. He absolutely is awesome playing a high dude that's just skating by on life and is trying to do the best that he can. Like, he plays that absolutely perfectly in One Battle After Another. And Michael B. Jordan, not for one, but for two roles in Sinners, Smoke and Stack. Plays them absolutely incredibly and so distinctly as well. And in my opinion, that is the difference. And that is why Michael B. Jordan will win the Oscar for Best Lead Actor. Because he didn't play one part, he played two parts. Best Leading Actress nominees being Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, Renee Rensby, again, I hope I'm saying her last name correctly, for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Bugonia. 3 out of the 5 here. Buckley is soul-shattering in Hamnet, especially when Hamlet is gone. That scene where she loses it, incredible. Kate Hudson was really, really good in Song Sung Blue. Definitely really, really good. Just the way that she has to grapple with, the big accident that happens to her in her character, I should say, in that movie. And, her having to deal with that, the way that she, portrays, the anger and the bitterness, and also confusion as well, for certain scenes. Absolutely amazing. And Emma Stone as Begonia, playing a person in a very tense hostage situation. I thought she played that absolutely amazingly. And will this net her another Oscar for a Yorgos Lanthimos movie? No, unfortunately not, because I think Jessie Buckley is going to win it. Which now brings us down to 2. Best Director. Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for martysupreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. I've discussed all the great stuff for each of the movies, which, by the way, 4 out of the 5 for this category. Zhao, I think, definitely proved to everyone, that as much people gave her guff for Eternals, which I don't think is warranted at all. This was an absolutely amazingly directed movie, for sure. Josh Safdie, again, carrying over the stuff, like I said, he basically, in my eyes, made another Uncut Gems, but instead of jewelry and basketball, it's ping pong. And told that story absolutely amazingly. And he helmed a pretty good movie. Paul Thomas Anderson, absolutely awesome stuff for One Battle After Another. And then, of course, Mr. Ryan Coogler, giving us one of the best franchises in the MCU with Black Panther. Has given us an absolutely amazing original vampire movie for Sinners. And in my opinion, I think he's going to win Best Director. Which now brings us to Best Picture. The 10 nominees being Bugonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, martysupreme, One Battle After Another, Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. 7 out of 10 I've seen. 2 I've not, because they're international films, and the Train Dreams is on Netflix, and I didn't see it playing anywhere much. But you're maybe thinking, Frankenstein, that's a Netflix movie. They showed that in theaters for a couple weeks, and I was actually able to see it in theaters. Hence why I included it in my 7 out of 10. I've sung all the praises for each movie that I've seen, but it is now time to pick a winner. What do I think was the best film of 2025? For my money, the best one, in my opinion, and the one that I think might win the Oscar for Best Picture, Sinners. Sinners, in my opinion, was the best movie out of the year. Original idea, executed to perfection, with an absolutely amazing cast, amazing performances, really good music, and a oneer that will live on in cinema history. And there you go. That is my breakdown of the not only the nominations but also my predictions as to who I think will win the Oscars. Just to kind of wrap things up in a bit of a bow, here is the breakdown in terms of our Best Picture nominees, how many nominations they got throughout this. Sinners led the pack with 16 nominations, breaking the record for most nominations for a single film. Following behind that is One Battle After Another with 13. Frankenstein, Sentimental Value, and martysupreme, all of them had 9 nominations. Hamnet had 8, and Bugonia, F1, Secret Agent, and Traindreams had 4. Each one of those movies had 4 apiece. So there you go. Sinners is currently leading the way with 16, and in my predictions, I have it winning have it winning 11 out of the 16 that it is nominated for, which I don't know what that works out to percentage-wise off the top of my head. I don't know that. It's, let's say, relatively close-ish to 75%. I cannot, for the life of me, remember what Oppenheimer did a couple years back when it also swept up a majority of, the awards that it was nominated for. But it's pretty close to, in my predictions anyway, close to 75%, which is, what I think is like the range a Best Picture winner will end up taking home, nominations-wise, anyway. But there you have it. This a long video, but it was well worth it, and I'm very much looking forward to the Oscars in March. But until then, be safe out there, guys, and I'll see you guys out on the red carpet for the Oscars. I'll catch you guys next time.